and welcome again to another fireside chat. For those of you who have been listening and know who I am, my name is Sean Melville, and I am the Managing Director of Ipsum Technologies. We are focused on helping persons with disabilities get access to technology. And I was one of the several YLAI fellows, which is the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative, that was selected to collaborate with US-based partners. I'm here in Kansas City, and today I'm going to be talking with Ms. Sheneille Gayle, very young lady who is very excited about technology. She's pursuing a degree in IT, and she's also a very dynamic YouTuber. So Sheneille has lost her vision for roughly about 3 years. And so today she's going to introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about her experience, what she did before she lost her vision, and then how she was able to recover. All right, so Sheneille, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hello everybody. As Sean said, yes, my name is Sheneille. I'm young female. I currently reside in Jamaica. And say about late 2019 or so, say December 2019 is when where my sight became where it is right now. I can only see light through my eyes. Well, when I lost my vision, really, I was at a point, because before I did, I used to do, I taught myself how to do graphic designing, and I used to surf the net a lot. I was literally on my computer all day, every day. And as soon as I lost my sight, the first thought that came to me was, what am I going to do now? My favorite pastime, my computer. I can't go on my computer anymore. What am I possibly going to do now? How am I going to go through with it? And then through some persons, I came to know about something that you can be able to use as a blind or visually impaired person on your devices called a screen reader. Right? You can have it on your smartphones, and you can have it on your laptop, on your desktop. And I think some devices such as smart TVs have may have some assistive technology as well. And as soon as I heard about it, I went straight to the society where I could get to learn how to use this technology. And I was taught the basics of how to use this technology, of how to use it to maneuver Windows and my application like Microsoft Word, and how to read my email. And I was saying, this is such an awesome tool. Can you imagine if I did not hear about this tool? I would probably be home sulking still. And I got the device, and I learned how to use the assistive technology, and I was able to use my computer and my phone at home. And then it came to me that, you know, I wanted to pursue a degree in information technology at the university. And then I thought about it, and I said, but right now I only know how to use Microsoft Word. I'm sure if I'm going to do a degree in IT, they're possibly going to want me to use other apps like Excel and Access and PowerPoint and stuff like that. So that wasn't included in the course that I did, how to use the screen reader, the basic course. So I had previous knowledge because I was doing IT stuff before I lost my sight. So I knew how to use Microsoft Excel and Access and all that stuff without the screen reader. So it was just to take that knowledge and to apply it with the basic stuff that I learned while reading the screen reader. And that's what I did. With God as my guide, I sat down and I took the knowledge that I knew what I wanted to accomplish, and I just sat down and figured out how to accomplish it with the screen reader. And seeing that there were a lack of tutorials online when you search up how to use Microsoft Excel, Access, or PowerPoint with a screen reader, you couldn't really find anything online. If you did find anything, it was in some Hindi or some other language. I decided that because at one point in my life, I really wanted to be a YouTuber. I used to play a lot of games and I wanted to become a YouTuber. So I spent a lot of time sitting and watching videos about how to edit stuff and how to make videos and stuff like that. So I decided that, you know what? There are going to be other persons out there in the same position that I'm in right now, that I was in before I learned how to use these applications. So you know what? I'm going to do some tutorials in order to teach persons who are blind and visually impaired how to use these applications with their screen reader. And there was born my channel, Quinn, in which I provide videos. Well, they're mostly audio, but I put my logo on them to make them into videos. My logo, which I made when I used to be a graphic designer. And I teach them how to use various applications such as Access and Excel and PowerPoint, navigating your browser, and different stuff using the screen reader. And it has taken off tremendously. And then on one glorious day, through another friend, I managed to stumble upon Sean here. And I always wanted to get into programming, but I didn't really have the motivation. I didn't have the push. At one point, I asked one of my friends who was a programmer, if I was to learn programming, which language would you recommend that I learn first? And he told me that Python, because Python, was an easier language to start out with. So I went on to a website where I found some notes, and I was just reading through some of the notes, but I wasn't really feeling the motivation. So I just had the notes sitting there until, I got connected to Sean, who I came to find out was having a class with blind and persons who are blind and visually impaired, teaching them how to do programming with Python. And I was like, you know what? I felt the push to take up this opportunity. I said, you know what? This sounds like something great. I'm going to try to be a part of this. And I'm telling you, those classes literally changed my life, because coming to the classes, hearing the how Sean wants to help persons with this application that we're working on, called the Blind Way Forward. And knowing that just being blind or visually impaired, it cannot limit you. You can still do the programming. I'm telling you, it pushed me. I took up back the notes that I just had placed on the side, and it motivated me to go ahead and try to practice and to do stuff and to come back to class and to show them and say, hey, this is what I did, this is what I found out. It motivated me really, and it got me working and working until when I started school one day, I decided, you know what, I'm in school and sometimes I forgot that maybe I have this thing due or this project due or something. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to work on an app. And I started. Sometimes I'd have questions and so on. Sean would help me with them and answer them and help me to figure out certain aspects of it. But I literally sat down, and through Sean's classes and the motivation that I got and different notes and resources online, I think I'm practically 80% finished with this application. I was able to sit down and go through and code my own GUI application that is like a reminder app, and strictly from just Python. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. This class has changed my life, because even I did a course in university last semester, in which it was a programming techniques course, and the course focused on Python. And I'm telling you, I passed that course with flying colors, a big fat A. I passed that, even my major project in which I was supposed to code a Python application. And it was up to you if you wanted to do GUI or not. I'm telling you, I got full marks on that project. And I have a feeling that if it wasn't for the motivation that I got from those Python classes that you offered, Sean, I don't think I would be where I am today.
Yes, so I appreciate you sharing so much, Sheneille, because we've had some really exciting times. And for me, it was a learning experience as well, just hearing from you and the others, how you all engage with technology, going through that experience of like experimenting with different things, and really just hearing the excitement from you all about the different types of applications that you all want to build. And so I think it's definitely something that I hope that we can expand on. We can get more people involved. And Sheneille, I know you have been doing a great job with YouTube, sharing the knowledge. And then, of course, recently we've been working on doing some tutorials. So tell us a little bit more about how we can actually, as a team, begin to expand on sharing this information with people outside of our immediate network? How can we actually reach out to more persons who are visually impaired so that we have a sort of like a movement taking place where people are beginning to see these opportunities that would have normally not been within that sort of remit that persons who are visually impaired tend to access. So could you share your perspective on that?
All right. Now, this is possibly where the blind way forward would come in, actually. But let me tell you, a lot of blind persons are out there who don't know that this sort of technology exists. They just feel that, all right, once you become blind, you're supposed to go and do wicker chairs and do cane chairs or the meat mops or something. That's basically their mindset, because a lot of them don't know about the technology that's at their fingertips today. So and what I think needs to be done is that we should not only spread the awareness to the blind and visually impaired persons across the world, but also those who are sighted persons, because if they hear and they know somebody who's blind or visually impaired, they can spread the information to them. Or a lot of them who are employers out there, they believe that, oh, just because a person is blind, oh, I don't want you working for my company because you can't do anything, you can't use this, you can't do that. We need to spread the awareness to them out there to let them see the technology that we have available and to actually give us a chance to see what we can do. I have had a lot of friends who tell me that they even apply for jobs and the person literally pests them. They call them every day and ask them to come in, to come in, to come in. And when they finally give in and go in, as soon as they step into the interview and they see the white cane and see that the person is blind, they said it is not going to work. And I'm telling you, it's terrible. They don't even give us a chance to show what we can do. See the work that we have done in the past. See what we can do and give us a chance. They don't. So I think we need to spread the awareness through the various social media, through television, because you have those who watch, especially on the local stations, because not everybody has cable, through the radio stations, because you have persons who sit and listen to the radio whole day, persons who use TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, spread it all over. And it's not a one-man show, because we need everybody to share the information around here to spread the awareness, to let everybody know that this technology is out there and it should, blindness does not limit you. There's some, I'm telling you, there are even apps that can tell you what color clothes you have on right now, or it can tell you, oh, you're standing in front of a girl and she's smiling and she looks approximately 36 years old. Yes, there are apps out there like that. There are apps that when you point your phone at something, it can tell you, oh, that's a stove, or oh, that's a chair. So I don't know why they are throwing blind persons under the bus. There are so many technology out there that we can use to be able to operate as if we still have sight. And it's just for blind persons out there to know that this is available to them and to tap into the technology, and also for sighted persons to share this knowledge with blind persons that they know, and to also realize themselves that they should not belittle us because we're not any lower than them. We're all on the same level.
Right, I 100% agree with you, Sheneille. And I think that comes back to the whole idea that we should be putting the person first. We should see the humanity in everyone and not just look at people as though, okay, well, you have a disability or you are whatever it is that the person might be experiencing. We tend to see skin color, we tend to see other aspects or features of people and not necessarily the person. And so we need to provide opportunities. We need to focus on humanity that people experience and really create those opportunities for everybody to shine. So I think that's a great point you're making. And then, of course, it's not a one-man show. We need to have collaboration. We need to have that sort of networking opportunities being presented to people so that everybody is now connected in a way. And the only way we're going to do that is if everybody takes up a role. So that's an amazing thing. So in terms of the technologies that are out there, and you spoke a little bit about how technologies can be quite useful for helping you identify the color of clothing, for example. What sort of ideas do you have for apps and other applications, websites, for example, that you see being directly useful for persons who are visually impaired? Like off the top of your head, just some useful things that you think you'd like to work on in the future. Okay, you lost me there for a second. All right, go ahead, Sheneille.
Can you repeat your question?
Yes, I dropped there for a little while. Yes, so my question is, what sort of applications do you envision that can be of great support to persons with visual impairment? So you may have wonderful ideas. What sort of needs do you see yourself or other persons potentially contributing in the future that could help with accessibility?
Wow, that's a big question there. Well, I think applications only, or possibly devices overall, because you can.
Yes, you can talk about devices as well. If you think a device is going to be provide you with some sort of support in a particular area, and I think usually we tend to look at different types of problems that you experience or you encounter on a daily basis. So maybe just share a little bit about those experiences you've had, and you don't have to focus too much on it, but just a wild guess. If you had a wish for something that you could solve, what would it be?
All right. To me, really and truly, it's just about making a lot of things that blind persons have to use to carry out their daily lives accessible. Like, say, for example, a washing machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If if my mother didn't put a tape on the button that I have to press on the machine to put up the water level and tell me how much time to press it and show me the power button, I wouldn't know. If I was living on my own, I wouldn't know. If they could program into technologies like these, that when you press a button, it would say, all right, this water level button, water level currently at 1%, or if you press another button, it says, setting button, setting currently on rigs, making stuff more accessible like that, stuff that you use for everyday use. You have some things out there, like even some, like say some applications that you use to cook, like possibly an electrical cooker, like say for example a rice cooker. You know, some of them they have knobs on them that they use to put on hot and this and that. But you're a person who is blind and visually impaired. You don't necessarily know what way to turn it. You know, they could have buttons instead, and when you press a button, the button says, I notice what it is like. Hot now, hot level now turned on, or warm level now turned on, or something like that. Or we could have more accessible timers on them that every 5 minutes it will let you know, oh, 5 minutes currently remaining on this. You know, just making everything around us a little more accessible for blind and visually impaired persons, because it's hard, you know, having to be asking persons all the while, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? It's extremely hard. And sometimes you feel you're nagging them, and sometimes a lot of them don't feel like you're bothering them. They don't really want to help. And I'm a person, I like to be independent. I don't like asking persons to do things for me. That's how I got into the graphics design in the first place. I didn't want to have to ask anybody to do it for me. So I went into it myself. Different applications, like a lot of times I've been hearing blind and visually impaired persons, sometimes even for me, wanting to create simple thumbnails for my YouTube videos, and I have to just resort to just using my logo on the videos instead. If we could have an application, you know, that just to put some simple text on a background and a picture, it could assist you until, okay, this text is centered on the picture. It can probably tell you how many inches away from the edge of this the background is the text or whatever. So you say, all right, this text is not big enough, probably I could make it bigger. Or if you're putting a picture on it, it will tell you, okay, this picture is covering up this text or whatsoever, or can tell you the proportion of the picture on the page. Because I've experienced creating a thumbnail before, and I actually asked a sighted representative I was creating a thumbnail with a picture of a mouse on it, a computer mouse. And the person told me that it was okay and everything. And I put it up on YouTube, and my mother came on, she looked on it and she said, why is that mouse so small on the screen? It's so tiny, I can barely see it. And I'm saying, really? And the person told me that it was okay. So I'm saying that if there were applications out there to make us be able to can do stuff by ourselves without having to ask persons to do it for us, that would be amazing. Applications that could be more descriptive about pictures, like even stuff that you have OCRs out there, but a lot of them are not extremely accurate. Making more OCR software that are more, you know, accurate, and software that can describe pictures in detail for you. Now that would be amazing, and that would make us feel like we're more included into the world. And those are just a little bit. There are tons more software that we could probably come up with, but that is just, you know, a little taste of what could possibly be done.
Excellent, Sheneille. I love that. The focus there is on universal design, inclusive design. There's a whole world of devices that I think we can create. I mean, you've shared that, you know, if you can make your washing machine accessible, obviously, we're now moving into a world of connected smart devices. And definitely, I think technology and accessibility can be used to create improved assistive living for persons who are visually impaired or who have any form of disability. So looking to, let's say, I'm closing off here now. I have one question for you. If you could you give us, if you had to leave us with one idea or one burning insight into how technology can be used to help persons with disabilities, or let's say improve the quality of life for all persons who may be interacting with persons with disabilities, what would that be?
Kind of putting me on the spot with that question. To me, if some sort of technology could be put in place to, make, because let me tell you, I know a lot of persons in the blind community, and really and truly, a lot of them they're afraid of the kitchen. They cannot cook. If there was, I don't know, some sort of technology that could be implemented, I don't know if it could be like a smart stove or something, or some smart electrical pots or something. But I can speak for myself. I do cooking, but when it comes to the frying, I stay away from that. Because I have issues with smell as well. So if the thing is burning, I don't know. If we could have some technology, that could let you know, when you put the chicken on the pot and the chicken is frying, like, hey, the chicken is ready now, take it out and the chicken going to burn, like it would ding, it give you a little ding or a little notification, let you know it's time to take this thing out, or something, something like that. Because if we are cooking something in a pot, especially like me, you have a problem with the smell, you're not going to see it burning and you're not going to smell it burning. So making stuff more accessible to make blind persons want to come back into the kitchen. I think that would be a good idea. So making some accessible equipment for in the kitchen. There's so many more ideas out there, but I think that is one of the main things, because I think blind persons need to really learn how to be more independent. And yeah.
Right. So I think, so as you shared an example of how that could be done, but the main focus is really on using assistive technologies to help with creating independent living for persons with disabilities. So I 100% agree with you on that particular insight that you shared with us there. So just one final thing, which is if someone wants to reach out to you, Sheneille, how can they access you? Social media pages, YouTube channels, etc.
So if anybody wants to contact me, I have a YouTube channel. It's called The Quinn, TheeQuinn. They could reach out to me by commenting on one of my videos, because I always read and answer to my comments. Or they can contact me via my email. That's thequinnpublic@gmail.com. So T as in tango, HEEQUINNPUBLIC@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. So thanks, Sheneille. All right. So this is the end of this particular episode of the Fireside Chat. I'm looking forward to our next chat. Sheneille, it was great talking with you, and so we will reconnect. All right. So until next time.